These two devices are trying to replace something we have relied on for years, which is recording and remembering conversations. But they go about it in very different ways. The Comulytic Note Pro focuses on simplicity and long recording time, while the Plaud AI Note Taker leans into mic arrays and smarter capture. Now, the question is, which one actually gets the audio right before the AI even starts working? Let's get started. Let's start with how they sit in your hand, and more importantly, how they sit in a room. The Comulytic Note Pro is extremely thin, around 3 mm and weighs under 30 grams. Once you place it on a table, it almost disappears. That changes how it picks up sound. Because the dual MEMS microphones sit so close to that flat surface, voices in front of it feel a bit more direct. You get this slightly forward vocal presence, which actually helps when you are in a small meeting or doing a one-on-one interview within that typical 2 to 3 meter range. Now, the flip side is when the table moves or someone taps near it, that vibration travels easily through that thin body. It is not a deal breaker, but you will hear it in quieter recordings. Then you pick up the Plaud, and it feels a bit more like an audio device. It is still very slim at about 0.12 inches, though slightly heavier at around 30 grams. Inside, it also has two MEMS microphone array with a VPU. That extra mic count and spacing matter. You are not just recording sound, you are capturing direction. So in a group setting, Plaud feels more aware of where voices are coming from. It is not perfect, but you can tell it is trying to listen rather than just record. Now let's actually record something, because this is where the differences start showing up. With the Comulytic sitting here on the table, the first thing we notice is how natural the audio feels. The voice stays clear, but the room doesn't completely disappear. If we're in a cafe or a busy office, you still hear some background around us. Some people will actually prefer that because it feels more like a real conversation. The voice stays consistent, and as long as we're within a few meters, transcription works very well. Now the Plaud and the approach here is slightly different. The voice comes forward more. Those extra microphones and beam forming help it focus on the main speaker, so in a noisy room, the person talking gets more attention. And with the Plaud, you can also record your phone call and process it through the app. Comulytic doesn't give you that option. And with Plaud, the trade-off is that you can hear a little more processing in the sound. It's not bad, but the audio feels slightly more controlled. For meetings, interviews, and lectures, that actually helps because clearer speech means better AI results. Let's talk distance, because specs will tell you 5 meters, but real life is different. In our use, both feel best within 1 to 3 meters. The Comulytic is very solid up close. It feels stable and predictable. The Plaud stretches a bit better at mid-range, which makes sense because of that 4-mic array and beam-forming support. So if you are recording a group discussion, Plaud has a slight edge. If it is more personal or close-up, Comulytic feels just as reliable. Now here is where these devices try to go beyond just audio, and honestly, this part matters just as much. With the Comulytic, the biggest thing you feel right away is freedom. You record without thinking about limits. Unlimited transcription changes behavior. You do not hesitate to record longer sessions, and that pairs well with its 45 hours of continuous recording and over 100 days of standby on a 400 mAh battery. And the summaries, they are clean and practical. You get key points, action items, and a quick overview that you can actually use without editing much. Then again, Plaud gives you more options. Not just one type of summary, but multiple ways to break down the same conversation, powered by thousands of templates and support for over 100 languages. And there is also mind maps, and it helps to track plans. That flexibility feels powerful, though it also means you spend a bit more time choosing what you want. Also, Plaud includes around 300 minutes of transcription per month on the base plan, so usage habits can feel different over time. Latency-wise, both are decent, but not instant all the time. The Comulytic can take a bit longer with bigger files. Plaud feels quicker on shorter clips, though sometimes syncing needs a second try over Bluetooth 5.4 or Wi-Fi. Nothing that breaks your flow, but you do notice it. After using both, the difference becomes pretty clear. The Comulytic is all about simplicity. You pick it up, press one button, and you're recording. The Plaud gives you more options with different recording modes, which is useful if your day involves different types of conversations. Even small details feel different. Plaud has a more noticeable button click, while Comulytic feels softer and more minimal. Both give you 64 gigabytes of storage, so space won't really be a concern. So when we step back and look at both, it is not really about which one is better in a general sense. It is more about how you work. If you want something that just works every time, with clean audio, long battery, and no limits on transcription, the Comulytic feels very easy to live with. If you care more about capturing multiple voices, shaping your notes in different ways, and having a bit more control over the output, the Plaud starts to make more sense. Neither of these replaces proper audio gear, and honestly, they are not trying to. What you are getting is smart capture, where the audio is good enough and the AI does the heavy lifting after. And in that context, both of these make a strong case, just in slightly different ways.